One day, there were tourists from America coming to Japan to see the beauty of the country, but it would not be complete if they did not visit historical sites in Japan. One of them is a temple, but the temple they visited was different. It holds many mysteries and oddities to mystical. Then, high curiosity made their way more difficult and found an oddity. They disappeared in the middle of the night around the temple. Even the police were surprised to see one of them become like that. A few days later, the police tried to find out what really happened to the 3 American tourists. The police chief named Rio called one of the survivors for questioning. His face looked vaguely as if something terrible had happened to him. The police were looking for the whereabouts of their other friend named Kate, because until now, she had not been found. So one day, 3 young people came to Japan to explore its natural beauty and historical sites. 2 of these people were Kate and Chris. While James was waiting for them first in Japan, Kate and James are known to be lovers. They took a walk to enjoy the beauty of the big cities in Japan, not forgetting Chris documented each of their trips, including the intimacy between Kate and James. But behind that, it turns out that James feels jealous of Kate, especially since she often goes out alone with Chris. James is afraid that someday Kate will leave him and choose to be with Chris. But Kate denied that it would not happen. The next day, they began to continue their journey to see the beauty of nature and also ancient sites. Using fast trains, they arrived at a smaller city than before. After getting lodging, they stopped by a knick-knack shop. There, Kate found an ancient book containing notes about the temple and its explanation. Among the 3 of them, only Chris could speak Japanese, although only a little but enough to help their journey. Kate felt the book was good and worth buying, but unfortunately the shop owner did not allow it. Even he looked surprised how they could find this book. Because of that, the shop owner immediately asked them to leave and hurriedly closed the shop. What's wrong? Did they say something wrong? But they didn't want to think about that problem. They went to a nightlife place, but Chris felt lonely. Moreover, he could only see Kate and James together. Chris then left the place and went alone. In between, he saw the knick-knack shop they visited earlier in the afternoon. Curious Chris entered silently and found the book again. Soon there was a little boy named Saida. Saida said that he also worked here occasionally. Not thinking long, Chris immediately wanted to buy the book and paid for it to Saida. Successfully getting the book, Chris went to the tavern for a drink while waiting for James and Kate to return. The tavern keeper said that the temple in the book was located in the interior of the forest, quite far from there. Even one of the men also said that it was better for Chris and her friends not to visit the temple. The temple was believed to bring disease. The information circulating used to be that many children disappeared because of playing around the temple. Until now, they have never been found. Since listening to the horror story, Chris has been hallucinating. Maybe it's also because of the influence of drinking too much. Chris was stoned heading to their lodging, and in the morning, Kate was surprised how Chris could get the book. Chris didn't say much. He immediately invited James and Kate to go to the temple in the book. This would definitely be their fun trip. They arrived at the village where the temple was located. The location was very close to the forest. Even the village was very quiet. People looked scared to see their arrival. Chris and the others wanted to find lodging for the night. Then they were also called by one of the grandfathers and asked what they came to this village for. The grandfather asked them to leave this village. This was his request. Otherwise, they might get into danger. Because only Chris could speak Japanese, he kept the grandfather's words a secret from James and Kate. Then they continued to enter the small inn. That night before tomorrow, they went to the village. Then they continued into the small inn. That night before they went to the temple tomorrow, the innkeeper told them about the past, especially about the temple. The temple used to be a place for children to play. But for some reason, every time a child plays there, they never come back. The innkeeper really wants to ask Chris and his friends to leave this village and not go to the temple. But he can't do much If Kreese and his friends want to go there, he can't force them. There was also Seda with her dog. Kreese was surprised how Seda was there. Seda said that she was the daughter of the innkeeper. Seda knew that Kreese and his friends would visit the Forbidden's temple, so Seda will help him to find it. That night Seda could not be long because her mother told her to sleep. The journey began. Seda was with Kreese while James and Kate. The journey was quite tiring because the terrain was quite steep and cold, making them quite difficult. Especially Kate. In the middle of the journey, they found a small statue where people usually pray. While Kreese was praying, James wanted to relieve himself, but he didn't return for a long time. But in the end, James found a shortcut. After going through the shortcut, they saw the same statue that was in the book. That was a sign that they were close, and sure enough, they arrived at the temple. Kreese saw Seda find a small bell. Then she told Kreese that it would be dark soon. They better go down. But Kreese wanted to stay there. In the end, Seda decided to go home first. Even though Seda saw a terrible figure behind Kreese started taking pictures around and into the temple. While Kate saw a strange figure, but only a glimpse, Kate felt that they might be followed by a strange figure. So she invited James to call Kreese. But Kreese was suddenly pulled by a hand from under the floor. Kreese falls and injures her leg, so inevitably they have to stay at the temple, wait until morning, and look for help. Their night is still long. In between that, Kate tells her relationship with James. It even turns out that Kate is pregnant with James' child. But she still hasn't told this to James. Unfortunately, what Kate said was heard by James. So in the end, there was a small conflict between them. Because of that, their relationship became a little problematic. James decided to return to the inn alone. He did not want to be with those who hid secrets from him. James went home past the statue. While Kate was looking for dry wood to make a campfire, Kate had a problem. Her flashlight had problems, and she saw some terrible figures in front of her. But she managed to return to the temple and keep her mouth shut about what happened. Kate is better off sleeping with Kreese, while James is still spinning in the middle of the forest. He even goes back past the statue again. Then there is a figure that haunts him until he falls and gets hurt. A scream sounds in Kate's ears, and she has to look for him. Kate looks for James until she reaches the shortcut. While Chris was alone at the temple, being attacked by several small children and clawing her face out of shape, Kate found James inside the shortcut, but in a terrible state. Both eyeballs were missing. Kate tried to run and get out of the endless road, and in the end, she was trapped while crying. The person who was being interviewed by Ryo turned out to be James. Ryo wanted to know where Kate was, but Kreese was still having trouble speaking. She also said, why was there a Seda in the hallway of this hospital when she was called? Ryo and his members said there was no one here but them. The little boy that Kreese mentioned doesn't exist. So it turns out that Seda is one of the missing child victims in the temple case. It can be said that Seda is dead because it happened for years. And all this time you could say that Kreese saw Seda's ghost. Kreese went crazy and went on a rampage, while Kate is still trapped and not found.